morning, everybody. Welcome. March Against Monsanto 2016. This will be a memorable day in history.
Yeah!
People will say there was only a small crowd gathered on that day. But they changed the world.
Yeah!
Because they looked around and they realized, I guess all my friends are not very well informed. Looks like most of my friends are happy for their children and their grandchildren and their grandchildren's poison. Because people are marching here in South Africa. They're marching.
Okay, cool.
March against Jacob Zuma. Who's paying Jacob Zuma? Where's the big money coming from that sponsors a political party? Yes, Monsanto's money is everywhere in our politics. And so small crowds though we are,
sorry.
This is a good reason to march. Better even than march against the president. Better even, not more important, but as important as marching for. Yeah, we'll get the mic. Thank you.
Marching for what?
I think we're with the people who arrived here in their thousands just a few weeks ago to march for the legalization of cannabis, which is not the same as for today, but there is a link, and that link is that we are no longer willing to tolerate different reasons and scientific rationale to illegalize nature, for nature to come second. And this whole argument of
Privatize nature.
yeah,
Privatization of nature.
privatizing nature, the patenting of seeds, and especially this idea that nature is the thing that is lacking, that nature can't feed us enough, that we need these modern ways, we need these poisons to feed the world. And with a little bit of understanding, with a little bit of relationship with our farmers and our growers, with a little bit of interest again in the earth and getting our hands dirty, we can quickly see that there's a very thin veil of outright lies. So,
Should I make an
no,
announcement?
I'm speaking just a second. So, my dedication for next year is to have a big crowd, and I want to ask anybody who's interested and with me on that. You'll be able to come and swap contacts with myself or any of the other organizers. But throughout 2016, with some of our incredible friends, Lonwaba, and some of my friends from Khayelitsha, we're going to be doing workshops, and we're going to rouse up the people who are unfortunately so busy just surviving that they don't even have time to read and understand, like the people in Khayelitsha. So next year, seriously, next year we're gonna have a big crowd and a lot of people from the poorer communities as well.
Yes.
Okay? And if any of you want to help to manifest that, step forward, let us know, because we've got to take charge. Yeah. And I think what's very important, we're not going to talk a lot, we're going to march, that's what counts, but what's very important as we are marching against Monsanto, we have to be clear on what we're marching for as well. And among other things, we have to march for a relationship with our growers. Thank you. Because that is what the supermarkets and these big biotech companies, that is where they've targeted our minds. To tell us that you don't need to have a relationship with the people who grow your food. Just go to the supermarket, we'll take care of the rest. That hasn't worked out very well for us. It is not natural for a human being to not have some kind of a direct relationship with their food. Okay, so I want to invite Michael Lambert, an incredible young permaculturist, to come and say a few words
make an announcement first.
Okay, go ahead. Yes.
And I've got to do this because this is quite a significant moment in South African history. It's not just that we're repeating an annual March Against Monsanto. 20 years ago, you might know that the first Constituent Assembly of this country signed into law a document known as the Bill of Rights. And I'm very proud to have been part of the campaign to include ecological sustainable development as part of that Bill of Rights. It's part of the human rights that we have in our Constitution. So we're not here marching about rights for plants. I'm sure there are people who would like to be doing that. We're also marching for rights for human beings not to be subjected to experimentation by Monsanto. Clearly we need to link our struggles with other struggles, whether it's the Dhaka struggle, whether it's municipal workers struggling, whether it's civil liberties in this country. We need to link those rights with the environmental rights that we have in our Constitution, because that's exactly what brought those ecological sustainable development rights and the rights not to be subjected to experimentation into our Constitution. It came out of the anti-apartheid struggle, it came out of the liberation struggle, and we need to re-establish that link, which has been lost under the current administration, which seems to act as if it's divorced itself from democracy, divorced itself from the Constitution. We need to bring our legislative parliament back to our roots as a broad green front against racism, against apartheid, and against Monsanto. Thank you so much.
We have another 15 minutes. Michael's going to come and speak, and then Jeremy is here to speak as well. Just before they speak, there might be a busload of people arriving, okay, from Khayelitsha. If they arrive, we're going to need more armbands. We're going to need a few more people to just kind of help keep the crowd in the road and so on. So Michael, there's Michael, he'll have armbands. So if you see a busload of people and you would like to just step up and help us out, go and get an armband from Michael. And if any of you don't have a poster and you'd like one, there's a few extra posters over there. Is there anything else, Michael? Two lifted. Michael, that was all as far as announcements. And then, oh yes, sorry, the flyers. Please, everybody come and take some flyers from Michael so that we can hand them out to people as we go around, so that we can grow our crowd for next year's massive march. It's gonna happen. Michael. Away! Shall we lively up a little bit? Yeah! So I say it, you say it, okay? Away, 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 away! Away, 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 away! When I say local, you say organic. Local? Organic. Local? Organic. When I say local, you say organic. Local? Organic. That's what we're working towards, yeah? So it's wonderful to have an enemy, but it's even better for us to have a cause. And this is our cause, yeah? We want organic food, we have to grow organic food. We can't say, Monsanto, please grow organic. They're gonna say, show us the money, yeah? And we'll end up in the same cycle where we're putting out our money for a weaker product, one that's gonna poison us. If we want to take back ownership of our food, we have to do it, yeah? So I would like to be encouraging everyone. There's seed that's been handed out, yeah? These are heirloom seed. Please go and grow it. Even if you grow it in a public space, get the seed growing. A bird is gonna come and eat that, and it's gonna poop that out somewhere else. And it's gonna be growing there. Viva bird poop! Viva bird poop! Yeah, okay, so my name is Michael Lambert. I work for the Goedgedag Trust. I run a department called Care for the Planet. Our work is about showing people the benefits of linking up in partnership with the environment. So it's about growing organic food. That's primarily what we teach people. We support them, we motivate them in many different ways. Yeah? What I would like to be encouraging everyone here to be doing is get the food growing. Yeah? So,
We're going to be marching today and under the auspices of being against Monsanto. But what are we for? What are we for?
Food freedom.
Food freedom, the right to nature, thinking about our children. Yeah? Tell us. Say no to GMO. And the best way that we can do that is by growing the food, saving the seed, sharing the seed, and getting other people to grow it. Yeah? So, we've recently saved, I've got 35-liter buckets. I've got about 10 of these buckets, yeah? Which is all seed that we've grown organically on the farm, and we want to distribute them. But what we need is we need people to say, hey, I want that seed, how do I get hold of it? Yeah? So it's all organic, and we're making it freely available to gardeners. Yeah? One of the things we're doing is we're saying we've got to reinvent the image of the gardener. Yeah? Check it out. Yeah? We're calling ourselves food soldiers. Yeah? So it's a play on the word foot soldiers. You know, in the old times they used to use them as cannon fodder. Those guys that they let walk in front. Yeah? They would give them a spear, and they would walk in front, and then there would be the archers, and then there would be the cavalry. And as your nobility went up, you got further and further away from the fight. Yeah? But we're saying, fuck that shit. We're going to be in the front line. Yeah? And the front line is in the garden. So can I hear whoop whoop for the food soldiers? Yay! Thank you.
And Jeremy Acton, with or without the megaphone, will come and stand and share a
I'll
few
try this
words.
without the megaphone. I'm a much quieter
the
guy
Dr.
than
Party.
Michael. The reason why I'm here is because I want to politicize this issue. We have a government that is completely sold out to Monsanto agenda. It is completely sold out to the big pharmacy agenda. And I'm representing the cannabis culture here today. I'm sure there are many brothers and sisters in that culture who are with me here today. So this is not just a separate, cannabis is not a separate issue from GMOs. The reason why is before there was Roundup, the way that you beat perennial weeds in a field before you planted your delicate crop was to plant a crop of cannabis broadcast thickly so that it came up like hair, and that would beat the weeds on that growing season. Then what they did is they would cut it off about that high above the ground, roll it flat, and drill the seeds of the next crop into those stalks. The roots of the cannabis of the previous crop would provide the drainage and the organic matter for that crop to grow. So instead of having Roundup, the future of South Africa could feature cannabis in the hands of the people. Okay, intelligently used in a crop rotation. The other thing is, cannabis was also made illegal so that Monsanto's soya would have a stronger foothold in the protein markets. Whereas soya requires all the heavy pesticides, the Roundup. It is a controlled crop where finding organic soya is very difficult today in South Africa. And if we actually mobilized for cannabis, we would also be mobilizing against GMOs. Cannabis seed in the hands of the people is a weapon against Roundup Ready soya. Okay? So then I'm asking everyone here to look at the policy of the party that you support at this time. Very many of the disadvantaged sector vote for that previously revolutionary party, which is now sided with the oppressors and which controls our parliaments, which has completely bought into GMOs. Some people vote for the party that is kind of corporate orientated. It's the alternative. It's called the official opposition in this country. Both of those parties are pro-GMO. So how can you vote for what you're actually fighting against? How can you also vote for for those parties if you're against cannabis prohibition. So we've got to put the two together, and I'm asking people to consider forming groups in their wards around the cannabis tree as a solution against GMO, as well as a cultural plant, and to select a candidate amongst yourselves, legitimate democracy, we choose the best, and to actually get the admin together so that we can take this metro. I'm speaking to a small crowd here, but small groups of dedicated people can change the whole future. Okay. So we're up against massive money and large doses of ignorance pumped into the people via the media, and but it's up to us to try and create those places of resistance where we can actually get enough candidates into this metro so that Cape Town goes GMO free. Okay, and that's the way in from the ground up. And so the time is this year. It has to be done this year. Otherwise, we're going to be eating GMOs for another 5-10 years, and hoping then in 2019 there's a national election, provincial. We've got to be geared for that already. We've got to be successful on the ground from this election onwards. So that is my appeal. If you want to beat GMOs, I'm asking you to be a cannabis activist as well as a GMO activist, and to get political. Thank you very much.
A nature activist. That was very interesting about the way, that was amazing. So fascinating. Another gentleman from the Food Sovereignty Organization. There's an incredible environment in Cape Town, and this is why I feel so optimistic. Literally, in 4 years, we could say goodbye. We could say goodbye to Monsanto, because there's so many people, clever people, working in different ways. So what's your name? Imran from the Food Sovereignty Organization.
Amandla. Comrades, as you can see, hunger is a crime against humanity. Alright? So why are 14 million South Africans going to sleep hungry at night? They're going to sleep hungry at night because of food monopolization. So we've got 4 food companies in this country that control 80% of the food market. And we've got 4 retail companies controlling 70% of the retail food market. And that is why our people are going hungry, because there's too much profiteering of food. And the only way, and I agree with the comrade that spoke before me, the only way we can solve this and fix this is to politicize food. Food must become at the forefront of our political
already done that.
We need to make food the political agenda item in our communities, because it's only by taking back food sovereignty that we will be able to counter the monopoly that these big corporates have on food. So this is what we're about. We're about politicizing food in a way that we take back ownership. And we take back ownership through taking ownership of our seeds first. And we start with our seeds. So one of our programs is we're starting community seed banks. We're starting community seed saving groups, and we're making seed the foundation of politicizing food in our communities, because by doing that we are saying to the government and to all the legislation, we're taking back control of our food system by planting our own food, growing our own food, and controlling our own food. But most importantly, we're saving our indigenous genetic biodiversity from Monsanto. That is the most important political act that we can do, is taking back our seeds. And only by taking back our seeds, we can conquer Monsanto. If we don't start seed banks now, in 20 years there won't be indigenous seeds left. And our legacy, our history of food will be lost, and we'll be completely reliant on Monsanto. So the only way we can re-energize our communities is to politicize food. And the other most important thing that we're passionate about is the rights of children. 25% of our children in South Africa are stunted because they don't get adequate nutrition for the first 5 years of their lives. And I want to acknowledge the forefront campaign on children's rights, Mr. Marcus Solomon of the Children's Resource Center in our midst, because they've been highlighting the issue of stunting for so long. And because of stunting, we have the problem in our education system, we have the problem in our criminal justice system, we have the problem in our employment system. Because our children are stunted because they're not being fed. And unless we politicize food and the rights of the child to adequate nutrition, and that goes hand in hand with this campaign against Monsanto, because Monsanto is the public face of food monopoly. So if we can conquer Monsanto and we can conquer the Pioneer Foods and the Premier Foods and the Tiger brands, who are all at the forefront of instituting GMOs in our country, in our diet, and causing the kind of poverty and the kind of malnutrition that we're suffering from. So we need to bring them down. And our approach right now, I'll finish right now, is that in the next couple of weeks, we started a week ago in Johannesburg, but we're taking the campaign public and we need your support. We're starting bread marches and we're saying bread prices must fall, food prices must fall. All as part of a campaign to politicize food, but also to show up. If you look at the annual results of Pioneer Foods for last year, they made 26 billion rand profit on food. They're the biggest producer of bread and maize in our country, and they made 26 billion rand profit. So what is this all about? It's about extracting wealth from the poor so that they can pay their shareholders and take the money offshore. So they're milking our people so that we're suffering and we're going hungry. So hunger is a crime against humanity. And the only way we can break the cycle is to politicize food. I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Awesome, we're going to start our walk in a moment. Just one thing, again, I really am serious about this year. This is an important march because we have a crowd of people and everyone is serious about this issue, and my sense is we're probably kind of preaching to the converted, obviously, in many ways. You guys know all this stuff, right? Yeah. So what can we do to take advantage of today? We're all here today. The email address is Food Freedom South Africa. foodfreedomsouthafrica@gmail.com.
One word.
One word, all one word, @gmail.com. So what we need to do in one way or another is we need to convert people to this understanding, and we need to look at different ways. We must be a marketing team, essentially. You all are marketing for insight. You're marketing for this understanding, and we need to do that in the build-up for our massive 2017 march. There's a lot of clever people here. Email us, let's work together. Yeah, you want to quickly give
the name.
Okay.
Hi guys, there are 2 YouTube clips that you can find to share with your communities, your friends, put it out there. Just Google on YouTube, just type in GMO a Go-Go. It's about 10 minutes, animated little story on GMOs. It tells you everything and it blows people away. And the other one is called Old MacDonald, New MacDonald. Also about 10 minutes. A kid's on a stage doing a play. Mind-blowing. I show to all my eco clubs, I show to kids, I show to family, friends. Promote, you just find them, promote them. You'll be impressed by how much feedback you get and how much you educate people with that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, just before we go, definitely a round of applause. I know it's a rather small crowd, but it takes a hell of a lot to organize a thing like this. So I'd like to thank everyone, Michael, Julie, Denver, Jeannie. There's a lady in PE named Rishka Johnson who does a lot. She devotes all her free time. We all have jobs, so you know we do what we can in our free time. So I'd like to give a round of applause. And a round of applause for those of you who will be joining us for next year as well.
Before we go,
Flyers
the
are
pamphlets that must go out today.
Get some of those.
Good. It's awesome.
It looks like it.
We say goodbye, Monsanto.
Plus, of course,
Russian giant cucumbers.
Very bad. Thank you.
want GMOs out! Hey Monsanto, you're a shock! We want GMOs out! Hey Monsanto, you're a shock! We want GMOs out! Hey Monsanto, you're a shock! We want GMOs out! Hey Monsanto, you're a shock! We want GMOs out! Hey Monsanto, you're a shock! We want GMOs out!
Yeah, thanks.
Hey Monsanto, you're a shock! We want GMOs out! Hey Monsanto, you're a shock! We want GMOs out!
Sorry.